Hello and welcome to our healthy back sequence from an all fours starting position. This is a sequence you can do throughout the day on its own to keep your back feeling healthy and well, or you could use it as a warm-up for something else afterwards. So once we come into all fours position and we establish a nice long neutral spine, we'll go through about 8 to 10 repetitions of each exercise to move our spines, pelvis and hips through their full ranges of motion. A little bit of back bending and forward bending, side to side and rotation. So come to an all fours position as you are ready. Bring your hands shoulder distance or slightly wider. Take your knees hips distance or slightly wider, and you can choose to point your toes back or tuck them under at this point. Make sure you do have enough distance between your knees and your hands that you can fill the space with your spine from the tip of the tailbone to the top of the head. As we arrive in neutral spinal position, let's start by making a back bend. Lift the tailbone up, move your chest forward through your upper arm bones, and make the head and the neck a natural lifted extension and position from there. Now reverse and round, pull the front of your body towards the back of your body. Stretch your shirt across your spine as you send your gaze towards the space between the knees. Move at your own pace now, alternating between the back bending position and the rounded, arched position. As you continue to move, make the movements nice and slow and controlled. This is a sequence that uses dynamic range of motion. So we want to encourage the joints and the body positions to their full end point range of motion, but without any undue stress or pain. So make the movements nice and smooth and make the transitions nice and smooth. Let's do a couple more here. As you move, keep the undulation in the spine as much as you can. Keep your thigh bones relatively stable, shoulders relatively stable, and arms relatively straight. Let's go one more time in each direction. As you return to neutral spinal position, take your hands wider. If you're on a sticky mat, they might even come off the mat. Bring your knees closer together and do point your toes back to come to the tops of your ankles as much as you can. Now shift the weight of your hips back so that your hips come behind your knees, but not all the way down to your butt. And start to sway from side to side, rolling across the fronts of the shins. As you roll, make this motion as small or as big as is comfortable for you, bringing your hips down towards the floor and reaching your glutes towards the far back corners of the room behind you. As you move, try to keep the hips behind the knees. This is going to help encourage the weight of your body off your kneecaps and onto the shin bones. And as we sway, stabilize from the chest down through the hands. Let's do maybe 2 or 3 more from side to side. Encouraging just a little bit of side to side, lateral flexion, and just a hint of rotation throughout the spine as well. Maybe one more time side to side. Balance from right side to left side. And as you return here, keep your hands wide, slide yourself forward and come down onto your stomach. Pick up each leg, lengthen it out, point the thighs, tops of the feet, the shoelaces to the floor, line your thumbs up with your ribs. And with your hands wide, check that you have some really good wiggle room for the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And then putting the hands into place, scrub your hands towards your hips, pull forward and peel up into this wide hand, wide position, kind of cobra posture. And then lower down, front body stays long as you return to the ground. Pull yourself forward and peel up, chin, throat, chest. Lowering down, chest, throat, chin. Tops of the feet and toenails down, thighs down, pull forward. Kind of like you're pulling yourself out of your own pelvis to peel up. Keep the front body long and reaching forward as you descend. Think more about going long from the tip of the tail to the top of the head, and then lifting and creating this extension position from there. So all of our spinal motions are dependent upon the first one, which is active elongation. So let's do 2 or 3 more here as well. Get long first, tailbone to top of head, and then use that space and fill that space with the lifting, extending motion. I'm going to do 2 more. You do as many as you want to here in this time frame. And as we return back down into prone position, bring your hands in closer again, press up to hands and knees, and slide all the way back this time into a child's pose or a seashell shape. Take your hips back as far as you can, round forward. Take a few breaths here. If your hips are up in the air or you're using fists or hands for a forehead pillow, that is totally legal. Make those adjustments to accommodate your body's shape, positioning, and comfortable movement patterns today. Raise your head and chest just enough to walk yourself to the left, right? So as you walk to the left, crawl your right hand across, maybe off of a mat or outside of the line of the legs, and plug your right hand into the floor. Drag away as you drape your right shoulder blade down and pull your right hip towards your right heel. Left hand is supporting this action wherever is comfortable on the side. So if you're looking at your spine from the ceiling, it kind of looks like a C shape or maybe a boomerang shape. Take a couple more breaths here from the right palm through the elbow, the armpit, into the space between each of the ribs, down through the waistline to the pelvis. Raise your head and chest enough to walk yourself through center to the second side. Walk with the left hand out in front at a diagonal line as much as you can. Plug your left hand into the floor and then drag away from it. Square your chest towards your thighs. Drape the left shoulder blade down. Pull your left hip towards your left heel. Use your right hand for support. And take several breaths on this side now, creating the C shape in the opposite direction. And breathing from the left pinky finger through the wrist, through the length of the arm, the armpit. Some space between the ribs on this second side, down the line of the waist to the hips and low back. Raise your head and chest enough to come back through center. Lift up to return to all fours, your initial starting position. And let's take one more. Good back bend, tailbone up, heart through the upper arm bones, neck long, head high. And one more good bit of rounding here. Actively drawing the front body to the back body, pressing the back body to the ceiling. Come on through neutral, shift to sitting, come to kneeling or come to standing. And we've completed our exercises to move our spines through all of its different directions. So enjoy heading on to whatever's next for you. Bye.